Always have to be suspicious, not true. False hope.
One day, and I made
Yeah, there you go.
We got quiet in a hurry.
I'm bringing them in. Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it 10 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call it.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for today, Lord. We just thank you for the rain that you recently sent us. Lord, we just ask you to be with us as we go through county business. Lord, we just ask you to bless this county with more rain. In Jesus' name.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, Terry wasn't able to make it today. At this time, any person with business before the court not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the court. No formal action can be taken on these items at this meeting. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. Ms. Summers?
I would like to address the personnel policies and procedures. 2.01, the county is a public tax-supported government entity. Its employees must adhere to high standards of public service that emphasize professionalism, courtesy, and avoidance of even the appearance of illegal or unethical conduct at all times. Employees are required to work each assigned shift or workday in full to devote their full attention to their work for the county. 2.02, on a day-to-day basis, citizens base their opinion of Scurry County on the action of county employees like you. A portion of a recent post on the Scurry County Health Unit's Facebook page stated, "We started our week celebrating Dennis Young's birthday. We also had a visit from our judge who graced us with his presence." The Facebook post went on to show various photos taken that day. In some of the photos, Young's desk with his nameplate are shown. On that same desk, there are two different versions of Evan Williams whiskeys. Someone that wanted this information known, but was not willing to address the issue with this court, shared the post on Facebook several days ago. Of course, the words on the Facebook page have since been rewritten and most of the photos have been removed. All members of this court need to read 2.01 and 2.02 and afterwards conclude that the goings-on on that day at the Scurry County Health Department do not adhere to the policies and procedures as written. Knowing that this issue has now been addressed during the citizens forum today, and knowing that the court is not required to take action at this time, this court should take it upon their own accord to address this issue at the next regular meeting scheduled for April the 18th. Thank you.
Okay, any other public comment? Not on the agenda. Okay, thank you. Court discuss and consider in a precinct project schedule and staff.
Rain, really good.
Helps, doesn't it? Anything else? All right, I'm gonna change things up a little bit on the agenda. I'm gonna go to court to consider bank depository bids first, and I'll let y'all discuss. I am going to recuse myself.
I sent y'all, the depositories, they're on Tuesday for y'all to review. Additionally, I sent y'all some overview information, late yesterday afternoon. Did y'all have any specific conversation or questions for me? Okay. I appreciate both banks for, taking the time and effort to bid. First Financial is a larger financial institution. They have many products and services to offer us. But with that, the interest rate is significantly higher with West Texas State Bank. And there's not as many fees with West Texas State Bank. So I would like to make the recommendation that we continue or enter into a new depository contract with West Texas State Bank. They've been a great partner with us over the last 3 years that I've been in the treasurer's office. And I think they'll continue to be a great partner in the future.
Still idea for bids, of course. West Texas still does do.
I make a motion to stay with West Texas.
Sorry.
All in favor?
These bid packets are not easy. So I really appreciate the effort and the time that everybody took in looking over these and creating them. So.
Thank you all. We appreciate y'all coming in and putting the bids in for us. All right, next on the agenda is court to consider fuel and oil bids. We got one. didn't think that was gonna be C, but it was. The bid is from Legacy Fuels. And it says unleaded gasoline, 87% octane, 4 cents freight, 9 cents profit per gallon. Diesel is 5 cents freight and 9 cents profit. Oil is $277.30 per drum for gasoline motor oil. Diesel motor oil is $307.55. Hydraulic oil is $327.35. Transmission oil is $283.90. Aggregate bid, I think that's separate. That's not what was discussed. I understand. Asphalt emulsions, is that part of, that's not part of oil? Okay. So, that's it.
I make a motion that we accept the current bid for fuel and for fuel and oil bid.
What was that company?
Legacy,
Second.
And I need to get copies of those.
all in favor? Okay. We'll move on to, court to consider copy machine bids. Sure, well. Those are two from the same company, I believe those two are from the same company. Third one. Okay, just a reminder, I made some notes on this. Our current copy machine cost is $4,964.40 a month, $56,332.80 a year. For 3 years, it's $168,998.40. Over 5 years, it's $281,664. We will do this a couple of ways. We can look at them all now, or we can take them and look at them, and have an answer for next agenda. I think there are two different ones for Visual Edge, right?
Yes, sir.
And then it looks like there's two different ones for Advanced.
Were they able to put all of them on there?
I
And they
hadn't,
were sure there was like 19 or whatever.
Yeah. I'm thinking they were able to, I don't know for sure. Do you- Toshiba. Yes, on Toshiba's, yes.
Looks like all this one is.
Does it look like 23 machines?
Yes.
Okay. For Toshiba, the option, they gave two options, one with buyout, and that's $7,296 for 36 months. 48 months is $6,184, 60 month is $5,370. Option B, hardware only, no buyout, which the buyout is $108,000. $108 or $118,000. I think it's $118 with all the shipping costs. We get 48,000 black and white copies per month at 0.00956. Nearly 9,975 color copies per month at 0.04983. So she was.
Look at the cord line.
Okay.
That's not going outside. Copy machine.
No. That's everything else, so.
There's a table till the 18th.
Real quick on the fuel, sorry, since y'all accepted the bid on Legacy, I need to remind y'all, you cannot purchase fuel at another place that, I had somebody turn in one for M&M fuels recently. We went ahead and paid it because we had not gotten bids yet, but it's supposed to be Legacy.
I thought the bids ran out, so we could use whatever.
We could then, but now we have Legacy.
Right.
We accepted the new bid, so just a reminder, now we've got to use Legacy.
What do we do when, because we've run into it before when Legacy's run out of fuel and didn't have any.
Except for another bid.
They didn't submit it, and nobody else submitted bids. This is our second time going out for bids, so the other companies aren't submitting them. The court would have to make a decision on that. Our bid is for Legacy, and that's the only one. They're supposed to turn in their bids. Technically, you're not supposed to use another vendor if it's a bid out item because of how much we spend. The court can make a notation or a clarification in there if there is none. I mean, I do know that Legacy has run out before, but we also have, I think it was another vendor at the time had turned in a bid too. So we accepted all bids. So we were able to use the other vendor, but Legacy is the only vendor who submitted it. So it makes it difficult when that happens.
The only time I've done that is when Legacy didn't have any.
And
I've done
this one was recent because our bid had lapsed and because nobody turned in bids. So that's why I didn't question it, but I wanted to remind y'all that we have to use who we've selected as our vendors for the bid process due to the over 50,000 purchases.
Look into some options and put that on the agenda.
Okay.
Oh, and
I mean, it is something to have as a backup to
Yeah.
figure out like what to do in case, because with the fuel, oil and everything, how it's going, it could become an issue again. So there does need to be a legal backup.
We ran into it last week because Legacy was out of fuel. We ordered it on a Thursday and didn't get it till Monday.
Of course, we didn't have the bid yet, so we were able to use a different vendor at that time.
We'll put that on an upcoming agenda and
Okay.
discuss it. So we're tabling, copy machine bids until next week.
yeah, I'd like to look at them.
I agree.
Thank you, Lonnie. Appreciate you coming
Yes,
here
sir.
today. All right, let's go ahead and conduct a public hearing on modifying the speed limits in precinct 2 and 4 on the following county roads. Do you want me to read them out?
The county roads?
Yes.
No. Unless you just want to. I can read.
Well, there are some others here who may not know which ones they are.
It's your
So-
read.
All right, so public hearing is open at 10:14, so.
10:14 a.m.
Is there any discussion? Any thoughts?
What are you modifying the speed limits to?
There'll be, it'll be for truck traffic on county roads. It'll be reduced to, on the Cleachy Road will be reduced to 30 miles an hour. And on the blacktops will be 45 miles an hour.
Mine's trucks for 45 on the blacktop, and it's regular speed for cars.
Jeff, did you say 30 on Caliche and 45 on Blacktop?
Yes. It's same as the, correct, Doug?
What are you doing on paved roads
45.
for trucks? Yeah,
And same thing on yours?
60 for vehicle, just regular vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all my art, blacktop.
45 for both. On
45 for trucks on blacktop and 60 for
Cars.
cars unless otherwise posted. I'll get you a copy of the rules.
What are you seeing on them now? What's happening on those now?
What are we, trucks are going 80.
Yeah.
Won't slow down for us.
Okay. Is it posted now at all? No.
Some of them are.
Posted at 60, is that right? Okay.
Then we'll have to order signs. It'll take a while to get all of our signs. Sign it in. Cause they're not cheap. They're about $40-something a piece.
Okay, any further discussion? We'll go ahead and close the public hearing.
16.
Court to discuss and consider modifying the speed limits in precinct 2 and precinct 4 on the aforementioned roads.
Being in both the precincts and the trucks are doing at least 80, so I make a motion to approve the speed limit changes in precinct 2 and 4 as presented.
Second.
All in favor? All right, court to discuss and consider options to prepare a 2005 5-ton military truck. Barry, you listed out some options.
Yes, sir. I don't have exact numbers, but what I've got is better than ballpark. We've got the 2005 military truck that the county got on a grant from the Forestry Service, so the county does own the truck. Something in the engine let go several weeks back. We've been waiting to get it diagnosed till the mechanic can get it opened up. And he tells us that it is in bad shape. I talked to, it's valves, it's no secret where it's at. I talked about, he said it would be around $20,000 if they overhauled that engine. He said it would need I believe he called it a straight bore or line bore. More than likely cylinder sleeves. There's probably a cracked head that caused the issue to begin with. As we got coolant into the oil somewhere. To pursue other options, there aren't a whole lot of other options out there. Used to, we could have gotten another truck from the Forestry Service, but that's no longer an option. I've looked at the surplus places. There are still some of these style trucks sitting there, but when you go to read the description, it's like, we jump started it and it turns over, but we don't guarantee anything on it. So that didn't sound good. There's a company in Tennessee, Memphis Trucks, that this is all they do. We buy parts from them all the time. They're very dependable. They're very helpful. They help us diagnose problems. They have two options for us. One is an engine that they have totally overhauled. They put it on a dyno. They've run it. They guarantee it for 60 days as far as just the complete front to back engine. But he said if it's a water pump, an air pump, something like that that goes out, he says we'll work with you to get that replaced beyond the 60 days. But it's ready. It comes with everything. I mean, both in. The price on that is around $13,500. There's a $2,000 core charge. Then their second option is an engine that they have pulled out of the truck and run on a dyno. And they guarantee that it performed as it should on the dyno, but then you're back to not knowing what's going to happen to that engine because the age of it, how long it has sat is a big issue with these military trucks. And that cost was around 8,000 with the 2,000 core. We'd like to not spend anything, but this is probably our most used brush truck. The way we built it and the way we designed it, it's our first out brush truck. We would like to request of you, and be happy to discuss it, but to go ahead and get the engine that's been overhauled, that we know what we're getting. I think this truck's got a lot of life left in it for a really long time. I looked for total replacement chassis outside of Forest Service. There's not very many trucks out there, except new ones. They're about $77,000 to $87,000. And I wouldn't want a new truck to go run through the mesquite trees to begin with, even if you offer it. I think that's a waste of taxpayer money. But this is a very necessary piece of equipment for us. We'd like to get it back on the road, get it up and going. So our recommendation would be to go with the fully overhauled engine. We know what we're getting. We shouldn't have any surprises with it. There's about a $1,200 fee to get it here, but one of my firefighters' dads runs a hotshot service through Memphis. He said he could get it here for next to nothing. And we asked about getting the core back, and we're working on that. We don't have an answer on that yet. That might cost us something, but I'm pretty sure we can get it here for next to nothing. And then again, I don't have any numbers nailed down exactly, but those are the phone conversations that we've had. And then to cap it all off, Val's estimate on putting it in was $4,000 to do the changeover. And we'll crate the other one up and get it back and get the money back on the core.
Well, you answered the one question I had, which was how much life left in the truck.
Yeah.
So
Lot.
considered plenty.
Well, we're still running a 1971 military truck.
Right.
The truck is sound. When you get these Forest Service, they get them from the military, no telling how long they've sat, where they've been, who worked on it last. You just never know on the engine. And so this isn't the first time that we've lost an engine. We lost one in another truck. Very similar situation. Everything's fine, fluid levels are great, everything's good to go, and we get it on fire and something lets go and we scored the cylinders on the end. Very, very similar situation. This one locked down. The other one would still start, but it was shot.
Yeah.
So you just don't know when you get something that you haven't maintained and you haven't taken care of. So it's a coin flip on that.
Right. But they have one ready to go.
I'm pretty sure we can get one out the door ASAP.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just looking at, you said Val's, you said it would be 20,000 to overhaul. He'd have to overhaul it.
Right.
And all that. So we're looking at about the same amount.
Reasonably,
And
except he may run into stuff we don't know about.
Right.
Like replacing heads.
Okay.
And those wouldn't be cheap by any means. So this other way, it's not only been overhauled, it's been dynoed, and I don't think Val does that, so.
I'm sure that truck place when they overhaul it,
13,500
magnaflux everything,
plus 2,000.
the cracks before they put it back. Don't-
I would assume we've actually bought used engines in the past and put in them, but there are no used engines to be found either. That was my first search. The last time we had this happen, we found an engine in Fort Worth, and I went down there and got it for $2,500, which was a really sweet deal for us. But I searched high and low for used engines, and they're just not out there.
So this one from Memphis is guaranteed for 60 days?
Yeah, front to back, 60 days. Like I said, it comes with the fan clutch. I mean, it's bolted in ready. 60 days, and then he said the stuff that they haven't gone through, like the air pump for the brakes and the water pump, he said if one of those goes out in a reasonable amount of time, he says we'll cover it. So, yeah, but it's still a used engine, but at least you kind of know what you got. Yeah, I apologize that there's not many other options, but there's just not.
You can do about that.
I use that truck a lot.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, sometimes. So I think the overall engine's the best option.
I would agree with that. Yeah. that a motion?
Yes, sir.
Second. All in favor? Thank you, Perry.
Thank you. And y'all don't do purchase orders, right?
I can do that.
All right, let's go ahead and
Email me the information.
let Nathan do his discussion here. Court to discuss and consider wildland fire investigation training in a designated area of the recreational trails.
Okay, so on May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we're bringing in a wildland fire investigation class for our region. It's through our local Fire Marshal Association out of Lubbock, past president of. We're trying to make this, I want to see Snyder as a regional training center, not just for fire, everything. There's no reason we shouldn't be. We're 90 miles from everything, the big cities. We should be able to get people here. Just another plank in your book later on. But what we're looking at is we need a place, we need about an acre to burn so we can do our skills. So we can see the patterns on the trees, the bushes, grass. When I did this in Lubbock a couple of years ago, it was just grass. We didn't get to see any of the freezing of the leaves or anything on the plants. So the best place I've found that's close to town where everybody can get to, and it's gonna be over there in the walking trail area. It's already got a paved path around it. Talk to Sean, he's good with it. You can bring out a maintainer, we can do it again to make sure it doesn't get away from us, but doesn't per se need to be exactly where this picture is. We'll go look at it and figure out what has the best vegetation, different stuff to look at. But if you guys have let me, we'd like to do about an acre burn, maybe a little bit, acre and a half. We'll have to do 8 different spots where we use different things to light it. And our students will have to go through and find out what it was. You can't get any better than hands-on training. So like I said, that's what we're trying to do. So we just need to get your approval to do it over there. And plus that'll be the greenest spot in the county for the next year or so. But anyway, any questions?
So you'll burn off an area
Yeah.
up to an acre.
Around that size.
Sure.
Like I said, it don't have to be right there where
Sure.
the drawing is, just, that's what we're kind of looking at. It's all there, because there's a place to park and everybody can walk in and go look at it without having to walk streets and everything else. So,
Lance?
No, it sounds good to me. Whatever we need to do, as long as, you know, the arm, whatever.
shouldn't be any issues. We'll have a fire truck there too, but let's try to get the blade paths around it. And we burned it not too long ago, doing all that cleanup stuff, so shouldn't be a lot of huge vegetation, but so hopefully we can we're hoping for 40 fire investigators we got state fire marshal guys coming, a lot of people from different places out of town, so like I said, this is the best place I've found.
You'll need to do a bonfire while you're at it.
No, not a bonfire.
There's a lot of branches laying around now.
Well, that's gonna be the best place, like I said, you get a lot of different patterns, so.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are coming from East Texas, so they're gonna not be able, if we do just grass, they're not gonna be able to see anything on the trees that happen, so. Which is gonna work out just right, because the trees are finally growing their leaves, so we'll be able to get those patterns, but just want to clarify with y'all first.
Just give me a heads up if it gets approved a day or two before, so
Okay,
we can,
yeah, I'll have to get with, Kelly Vandergriff, he's gonna be the one doing the class. We'll find out what day you want to do it.
and we can leave a maintainer out there too.
Yeah.
Well, if something don't happen on the railroad.
And then maybe so pretty you want to burn the whole thing next year. They tell us about every 3 to 4 years, you need to burn all that grass to have good grass.
Yeah,
Chasing into the houses.
as long as we don't lose all the trees.
No, the trees are made for.
If you do a proper prescribed burn, that wouldn't be an issue.
I believe that. Yeah. May have to be.
Gravel things are out.
Yeah.
Killed 7 out there last month or so, 3 weeks.
I'd like to make the motion that we allow Nathan to do his school for the wildland fire investigation training.
All in favor? I agree with that. I want to bring all the training we can right here.
I don't see why we can't.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Court to consider, we're going to letter H, court to consider additional revenue in the form of funds received from the sale of scrap metal, and I guess we can go ahead and do I as well. Additional revenue in the form of grant funds from BRAC Incorporated, SBA.
Okay, the scrap metal is precinct 3. We sold some stuff, it's not our iron metal, for $1,212.80. And then this is the BRAC for, what was it, Senate Bill 8? Yeah, and this is, they paid for education basically for EMT classes. And they're reimbursing us for $10,500. There will be a budget amendment to place that $10,500 into his education line because it was a reimbursement.
They're using this as a pass-through. Okay. But it's considered a grant.
Okay.
You still have to apply for it.
Okay.
Make a motion we approve the revenue from Smart Iron Metal and the grant funds from BRAC.
Court to discuss and consider a donation from Primoris for labor and materials at North Park. I'll let Lance.
I do need to clarify something. You can't accept the donation till regular session. You can discuss it, but you can't accept it until regular session. The law states that it has to be accepted during regular session.
We'll do that next session, our next meeting.
But you can discuss it so that I can type up a form that is formally submitted with the LGC code on there, and that way I will know what to put on there.
Okay.
Okay, so right now, a couple weeks ago, there was a representative of Primoris that contacted me, said since they're in this area doing a lot of construction work, they want to do kind of a community project, and they selected those 2 ball fields at North Park. And right now, it's just still kind of up in the air exactly what all they want to do. But right now, I know they want to go in there, level those infields, fill holes, remove rocks, and possibly repair the backstops on both of those fields. And past that, he hasn't heard back from his superiors on what they can do, what they're willing to do. But I figure whatever companies, however they're wanting to help us, it's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah. Thank you, Lance.
Do you have any idea of the value of that?
no, ma'am.
Do you have a contact?
I do have a contact.
Okay.
I can get it for you.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't have to be an exact value at this time, but it'll have to be like estimated value.
Gotcha.
What it's gonna be, what they'll be willing to donate, and then we can, if it's more than that, then we can amend it at a later date.
Okay. Gotcha.
So what do y'all think? Y'all want to let Primoris do some work for us at North Park?
Then we can't approve it though.
Not
I think
the
it'd be
money
great.
amount. I mean, we can, without a money amount, correct, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you just can't accept the donation. You can say, yes, we can move forward with this. With them wanting to do the work or whatever. You just can't formally accept the donation yet.
Okay, makes sense.
So you probably wouldn't want to if you know what they're gonna do.
But I think free stuff is always good.
Yeah, I mean, for right now, they're wanting to host a little outing for their company, have this coming weekend, and they just asked me if they could go in there with the skid steer and some labor and do some general. And I talked to Mike, And he wasn't concerned about that as long as we weren't over there in conjunction with them and could possibly get hurt, you know.
Sure.
So that was his recommendation.
So without accepting it as a donation, we can allow them to go ahead and do the work.
And we'll accept the donation and the value of it, and regular session.
I'll say a little bit.
That a motion?
Yep.
Second. All in favor? Court discuss and consider approving enrollment for county employees on the Texas Association of County Cybersecurity Training Course. It's mandated training, we have to do it every year, and they do one for free. It's gotten better every year.
Make a motion to approve Scurry County employees enrollment in tax and such cybersecurity training.
Second.
All in favor? Court to discuss and consider renewing the 2024 Texas Vine Service Agreement. This is, kind of went back and forth on this and whether we were needed to do this or not. I think we determined that we do need to continue this vine maintenance plan and agreement and all. And this is, one of y'all explain it better than I would.
We have an agreement with the Office of Attorney General to do, it's the victim notification system that they have. We have a computer tower downstairs that if anybody, they have a concern about a person being released, they can call some number, and it's listed here. They can call the number and they can find out if a perpetrator who has committed offense against them is being released. And that's usually sexual assault and physical assault, correct?
Correct.
Yes. We've been, I think the one that I found, it went back to like 1995 or something like that. We've been doing it. We don't pay anything for it. We pay it, but they reimburse it right back to us. So it's just, they decided to do a desk review, and there was a lot of back and forth of whether it was required by law, which every county apparently seems to be doing it, but nobody really knows what it does. So it is from the Office of Attorney General, and if we don't do it, I don't know if they would say, okay, well, then you can't participate in other programs. So it's not that much work, it's just kind of a pain, but here we are.
Well, doesn't cost nothing. We do it every year for what we do. I'll make a motion, we renew the 2024 Texas Vine Service Agreement.
Second.
All in favor? Line item transfers and budget amendments?
From my originals. I have two budget amendments, no line item transfers. They're both, one is the 10,500 that we certified for EMS education and training. This is for the night grant. The other one is also for EMS, but this is for those payment on the cardiac monitors
First installment on the 5-year.
that y'all had approved in a previous court for him to get. But this is so that we can move the money from Texas class to make the first year's payment on those monitors.
We're doing accounts payable today also?
No. We did them last week and we're doing them
Next week.
Tuesday, so.
Make a motion to approve the budget amendment as presented.
Second.
All in favor? I'll make the motion, we adjourn. All in favor? Yep.
What was the cost of that overhaul?
13.5.
13.5 and then 2004? Okay.
I'll make a copy of this. And then to
We didn't ask them for the.
How's it going?